Conflict doesn't begin when voices are raised. It begins when emotions are misread. The tension in a room doesn't always come from shouting or disagreement. Sometimes it starts with silence, with hesitation, with a look that was misunderstood, or a sentence that landed the wrong way.
Yes.
That's why in leadership, emotional awareness isn't optional. In this episode, we're going to show you how to identify and resolve team conflicts before they escalate. Using facial profiling with FOQUS AI, you'll learn how to recognize conflicting personality types by analyzing facial traits, how to prevent silent friction in teams, and how to mediate effectively by understanding emotional wiring. Most organizations only deal with conflict when it becomes visible, but by that time, the damage has already begun. Trust is broken. People shut down. Work slows. Gossip spreads. What if you could predict conflict before it happens? What if you could see the warning signs in your team's emotional makeup and intervene before frustration becomes friction? Facial profiling gives you that power. Every personality is built on patterns. The way someone reacts under pressure, communicates, leads, or follows. These patterns are often reflected in the face. Let's begin with the root of most team conflict. Incompatible communication styles. Some people are direct, others are sensitive. Some need time to process, others speak on impulse. When two people with opposing emotional rhythms are forced into collaboration without awareness, tension builds. They don't dislike each other. They just don't understand each other. Now here's where facial profiling steps in. FOQUS AI analyzes the key traits in a person's face that relate to expression, control, and adaptability. These include eye shape, lip tension, jawline definition, and even eyebrow positioning. Let's say one team member has sharp features, straight eyebrows, a pointed chin, and tight lips. This person is likely assertive, task-oriented, and values speed and clarity in communication. Now pair them with someone who has rounded eyes, fuller lips, a soft chin, and relaxed cheek muscles. This person may value empathy, collaboration, and emotional pacing. Individually, they're both valuable. But together, without awareness, conflict is likely. One feels rushed, the other feels ignored. One sees directness as efficiency, the other experiences it as aggression. With FOQUS AI, you can scan both profiles and immediately recognize the potential friction points. You're not judging either person, you're decoding their emotional language. Once you understand how each person is wired, you can coach them into better interaction. Let the assertive communicator know when to slow down and listen more. Help the emotionally sensitive teammates speak up sooner rather than shutting down. Now let's look at leadership-triggered conflict. Sometimes a leader's traits unconsciously create tension in the team. For example, a leader with a very strong jawline, narrow eyes, and tight mouth muscles may unintentionally come across as cold or overly dominant. Meanwhile, team members with high openness markers, such as expressive eyes or soft cheeks, may feel dismissed or overwhelmed. FOQUS AI shows this contrast in energy styles. When you scan your team's faces together, you get a full visual map of where your emotional gaps are. You'll start to see questions like, who is likely to challenge authority? Who avoids confrontation even when necessary? Who leads emotionally and who leads by structure? Who needs reassurance and who thrives on autonomy? Once you have these insights, conflict resolution becomes proactive. Let's walk through a real-life story. A design team was experiencing subtle tension. Tasks were delivered late. Brainstorming sessions became awkward. Feedback was poorly received. The manager thought the problem was lack of accountability. But after using FOQUS AI to analyze the team, the truth was clear. Two team members were emotional processors. They needed space, encouragement, and empathetic tone. Their leader was high on assertiveness, low on emotional expression. He was giving fast, blunt feedback without checking tone. This mismatch created silent resentment. Once the manager saw the emotional profiles, he adjusted his feedback style. He allowed more collaborative review sessions, used more affirming language, and gave space for reflection. The result? The creative energy returned. Deadlines were met again, and the tension disappeared. This is the kind of shift that changes culture, not just productivity. Now let's talk about team pairing and project assignment. Before you put people together on a task, scan their focus reports. Check for energy compatibility. If both are highly dominant, plan for structured dialogue. If one is dominant and the other passive, coach them both on balancing voice and space. If both are emotionally reactive, make sure the task has clear boundaries and timelines. If both are low expressors, check in frequently to ensure they're not avoiding important discussion. This is emotional engineering. And it's not just about fixing problems, it's about designing collaboration that works from the beginning. FOQUS AI lets you prevent unnecessary tension before it begins. Now, how do you apply this in your organization? Start by scanning your full team. Use the FOQUS dashboard to group team members based on their energy profiles. Label key conflict markers. Are there clusters of strong personalities with no mediators? Are there silent contributors being overshadowed? Are your managers aligned emotionally with their teams, or is there a mismatch? Next, review recent or recurring conflicts. Check the facial profiles of those involved. Were these emotional clashes predictable? Could they have been coached earlier? Then build a playbook. Create custom communication strategies for higher-risk pairings. Assign project roles based on emotional strengths, not just technical skills. Train your team leads to use facial profiling as a relational map. Empower them to lead with empathy and emotional design. It will not only reduce conflict, it will create a culture of emotional fluency. This is how strong teams stay strong. It's not by avoiding disagreement, but by understanding it before it begins. The future of team management is not just productivity software or workflows, it's emotional insight. Your team's performance lives in their relationships. Those relationships are shaped by personality compatibility. You don't have to guess anymore. The answers are on their face. Use FOQUS AI to read them. Go to FOQUSAI.com and start building harmony, not just headcount. If this episode gave you insight, subscribe to the series and share it with anyone in HR, leadership, or people operations who still waits for conflict to happen before acting. In the next episode, we'll dive into how FOQUS AI helps during interviews, revealing emotional truth behind rehearsed answers. Till then, lead with clarity, coach with compassion, and remember that your best teams are not built by accident. They are built by design, and that design begins with the face.